Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is Ehsan, and in today's video we're going to solve another IELTS reading test. But before we get started, it's better to have this book in front of you. We're going to solve test 1, reading passage 2 of the Cambridge IELTS 11, and it is better for you to have a pencil and take notes while watching this video. Turn off any distractors such as your cell phones to have your full concentration, and I'm going to give you some tips and strategies to solve this test. And smile, make yourself relax, because this is a really helpful tips for you, especially during your real IELTS exam. But before we get started, if you're new here, please give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell so whenever I upload a new video you'll be aware of it. Let's jump into it. I'm gonna split the page in two halves. On the left hand side you can see the passage, and on the right hand side you can see the questions of this IELTS reading. So this is the title, the Falkirk Will, and here these are the questions 14 till 19, true false not given, and questions 20 till 26. This is labeled the diagram below. You have to complete this blanks from 20 to 26. I prefer to start with these kind of questions. It turns out to be the easy ones to start, so I'm going to start with these questions. And most of the times the questions and answers for these kind of questions are in the same order. So whenever you find the answer for question 20, probably on the next sentence or sentences or the next paragraph you're going to find the answer for question 21. But rarely they just jump back for one question. I don't know if this is that case or not, but sometimes it happens to make you confused. So this is not always the case. The questions and answers are in the same order, but most of the times are in the same order. So how we can deal with this kind of questions? You had to coordinate the most important keywords for this question. So this is how a boat is lifted on the Falkirk Will. So the whole passage is about Falkirk Will. So this is not the great keyword to look for. But for question 20, you can see a pair of. A pair of means two. So this is the great keyword to look for in the whole passage. Maybe you can see pair or you can see two in the whole passage. So just walk through the passage. This is a great practice for you at home. But I'm gonna just point out the place where you can find it. But you can have this practice at your home. Just look for two in the whole passage. You can look for something else as a practice. For example, look for, I don't know, the words that start with the capital W. Okay, for example, will in this paragraph, something like that. You have to familiarize yourself with coordination of keywords. So where do we can find this? And another important tip is that these questions, actually we cannot set it for sure, but these questions are after true false not given. So probably I can I don't know how much I emphasize with that. Probably this is about this questions after is going to be after question 19, and maybe on the second half of this whole passage. We can say that much. But here you can see two in here and two in there. But which one we can choose to find our answer? Just go back to the questions 19. The construction of the Far Creek Will Sea took into account the presence of a nearby ancient monument. Maybe ancient monument is a great keyword to search for. The weight of the gondolas varies according to the size of the boat being carried, and maybe gondolas. So why I choose these keywords? Because these keywords are probably before question 20. Okay, so here where we can and why I choose two questions, because maybe one of them is not given. So for true false not given, you had to choose two questions to find where it's located. This is really important. So where do we have these keywords? Maybe weight, ancient monument, something like that. So here we can see ways, or maybe somewhere else, I don't know. And here we have way. So probably these two is going to be our start point. A pair of what are lifted in order to shut out water from canal basin. So here the grammar can help us. After a pair of, you can write it down for yourself. Okay, I'm probably going to be create a video for this kind of tips for grammar because it's really helpful. After a pair of, we need what? After a pair of, we need a countable, write it down, plural noun. This is really helpful for you. So we have to look for a countable plural noun after a pair of. So 2 hydraulic steel gates are raised so as to seal the gondola off from the water in the canal basin. So here, shut out from the canal basin. Here, this is the second part. And where we can find a countable plural noun. This is our answer, gates. You see? And you had to choose just one word. Not hydraulic steel gates, just gates for question 20. So this is how we can find the answer, gates, for question 20. How about 21? A dash is taken out, enabling wheel to rotate. So after A, we need a single countable noun. We need a single countable noun after A. So the water between the gates, just moving forward, the water between the gates is then pumped out. Water is not countable. Be careful. Water is not countable. So water is not the answer for here. A hydraulic clamp which prevents the arms of the wheel moving while the gondola is docked is removed. So it's taken out. This is just an extra information. So you had to remove it, all of that. So the main sentence, a hydraulic clamp is removed. A dash is taken out. So a hydraulic clamp is answer. But because we need just one word, you had to write it down, clamp, for this answer. Okay, now question 22. Hydraulic motors drive what? So this is here, the grammar cannot help us. Maybe we need a noun, maybe we need an adverb, I don't know. Hydraulic motors drive. So allowing the wheel to turn, it's about the previous question, enabling wheel to rotate. Okay, this is the paraphrase, and I already create you a IELTS keyword table for these kind of paraphrasing. That's going to help you a lot to find your clues and paraphrasing in the IELTS reading passage. Here, so in the central machine room, an array of 10 hydraulic motors then begins to rotate the central axle. Then begins to rotate. So hydraulic motors drive what? Begins to rotate means drive what? The central axle. But again, because we need just one more, axle is the right answer. So question 23, and maybe you can read this one as well and find in the passage, boat is raised floating in one of wheels 2 gondolas, and after that a range of different size what ensures boat keeps upright. So again, just like a pair of, after a range of, we need a countable plural noun. After a range of, just like a pair of. So a pair of or a range of, we need a countable plural noun. And different sized. Okay. The Excel connects to the, so here per minute, as the wheel rotates, the gondolas are kept in the upright position by a simple gearing system. No, 2 8-meter wide cogs orbit a fixed inner cog of the same width connected by 2 smaller cogs. You see, 2 smaller cogs, 8-meter wide cogs traveling in the opposite direction to the outer cogs to ensuring that the gondolas always remain level. Ensures boat keeps upright. Remain level means keep upright. This is the paraphrasing, and you can see 2 smaller or 8-meter wide cogs. So different size for what? For our countable plural noun cogs. So here cogs is the right answer. But because you already knew that you're gonna need a plural countable noun after a range of, this is gonna made it so much easy for you to find the answer. So question 24, boat reaches top wheel then moves directly onto what? So this is something about boat. When the gondola reaches the top, the boat passes straight onto what? Onto the aqueduct situated 24 meters above the canal basin. So directly onto what? Straight in onto the aqueduct. This is really easy one. This is just like a level of reading passage 1 actually, not passage 2. This is really easy to find. So question 25. Boat travels through tunnel beneath Roman. We need to find Roman, beneath Roman. So where just you can see how I find the answers. To locate the answer, this is the coordination technique. Just look through all the paragraph. You don't have to read it all from the beginning to the end. Move your eyes something like from right to the left, or maybe from bottom to the top. Here we can see Roman. So this is where you're going to find your answer. I'm just start at the beginning of this sentence. Where it is here. The wheel could not be constructed to elevate boats over the full 35-meter difference between the two canals, owing to the presence of the historically important Antonia Hall, which was built by the Romans in the second century AD. Boats travel under this wall, under this wall via a tunnel. Through tunnel means via a tunnel, and beneath means under. Under what? Under this wall. So wall is the right answer for question 25. Wall. How about 26? 26, blank raised boat 11 meter to level of Union Canal. I already seen 11. 11 is really obvious keywords to answer, and this is where they actually jump back in this question, because after 25 here we have 11 meters, so we have to come just jump back one sentence. Okay, so raised boat 11 meters. The remaining 11 meters of lift needed to reach the Union. Because of raise, because you can see raise without an S, you need the plural countable noun. So for question 26, because of raise, we need a plural countable noun. This is a really great practice. For your grammar. Grammar is really helpful for IELTS reading. Plural countable noun before raise. Raise boat 11 meters to level of Union Canal. The remaining 11 meters of lift needed to reach the Union Canal is achieved by means of a pair of locks. So what is the plural countable noun here? Means, but means is not the right answer. We need a noun here. So this is here a pair of locks. Locks is the right answer for question 26. So here we finish these questions, and now I'm going to answer true, false, not given. So, and we already find weight in here. Okay, and ancient monument here I find Romans. I love something like that, to talk about ancient monuments, about Roman Empire, or here Antony Wall. These are ancient monuments, so probably here we can find the answer for question 19. And how about other questions? Actually, we can just write it down right now, because we are in that place. No problem with that. We already find ancient monument here. So here it says that the construction of the Falkirkville site took into account the presence of a nearby ancient monument. So it took into account the presence of a nearby ancient monument. So here it says that owing to the presence of the historically important Antonia Wall, which was built by the Roman in the 2nd century AD, boats travel under this wall via a tunnel, then through the locks, and finally onto the Union Canal. So this is took into account the presence of a nearby. It's just said this in here, and this sentence make us sure that this is completely true. So here for question 19 you had to write true. So here now I'm just going back for answering question 14. The Falkirkville has linked the Forth and Clyde Canal. This is the main keyword. Where we can find Forth and Clyde? Maybe at the beginning, I don't know for sure, but here, yes, here. So this is where we can find the answer for question 14. The Falkirkville has linked the Forth and Clyde Canal with the Union Canal for the first time in their history. For the first time. Was it for the first time or not? We had to find this. The Falkirkville in Scotland is the world's first and only rotating boat lift. But don't hurry. Opened in 2002, it is central to the ambitious £84.5 Millennium Link project to restore navigability across Scotland by reconnecting the historic, This is important word to notice. Reconnecting the historic waterways of the Forth and Clyde and Union Canals. So reconnecting the historic waterways of the Forth and Clyde and Union Canals. Reconnecting means again. So this is not for the first time. It's about linking Forth and Clyde Canal with the Union Canal. It's not about Falkirkville. It's about linking. Be careful about this word here. And because this is reconnecting, so it's not the first time. So the answer for this question is false. Be careful with that. Just one word is going to make this sentence false. So how about question 15? There was some opposition to the design of Falkirkville at first. Some opposition. Find some opposition at first. So and just let me to highlight the keyword for question 16 and 17 as well, so that we can know what we're looking for. Because in true false not given, maybe you have not given, so you don't know where to stop your looking. The Falkirkville was initially put together at the location where its components were manufactured. Put together means assemble at the location where its components were manufactured. And the other ones, the Falkirkville is the only, I love this word, and be careful about that, only boat lift in the world which has steel sections bolted together by hand. Okay, now so we're looking for opposition and manufactured, something components were manufactured, just these two. The major challenge of the project lay in the fact that the Forth and Clyde Canal is situated 35 meters below the level of the Union Canal. Historically, the two canals had been joined near the town of Falkirk by a sequence of 11 locks, enclosed sections of canal in which the water level could be raised or lowered. That step down across a distance of 1.5 kilometers, this had been dismantled in 1933, thereby breaking the link. When the project was launched in 1994, the British Waterways Authority were keen to create a dramatic 21st century landmark which would not only be a fitting commemoration of the millennium but also a lasting symbol of the economic regeneration of the region. There is nothing about opposition to the design, so this is going to be not given. Okay, so now here again for question 16, put together, components were manufactured, and the next one is the only boat lift in the world bolted together by hand. Okay, now continue. Numerous ideas were submitted for the project, including concepts ranging from rolling eggs to tilting tanks, from giant sea saws to overhead monorails. The eventual winner was a plan for the huge rotating steel boat lift, which was to become the Falkirkville. The unique shape of the structure is claimed to have been inspired by various sources, both man-made and natural, most notably a Celtic double-headed axe, but also the vast turning propeller of a ship, the rib cage of a whale, or the spine of a fish. The various parts of the Falkirk wheel were all constructed and assembled. So here we have the Falkirk wheel was initially put together at the location where its components were manufactured. The various parts of Falkirk wheel were all constructed and assembled like one giant toy building set. So at Butterley, engineers still works in Derbyshire, some 400 kilometers from Falkirk. So this was initially put together at the location where its components were manufactured. Various parts of them were all constructed and assembled like what? At Butterley Engineering Civil in some 400 kilometers from Falkirk. So this is exactly the same sentence as this one. So the answer for this question is true. So how about 17? Falkirk wheel is the only boat lift in the world which has steel sections bolted together by hand. And the next one, the weight of the gondolas varies according to the size of the boat being carried. So here we go. A team there carefully assembled 1,200 tons of steel, painstakingly fitting the pieces together to an accuracy of just 10 millimeters to ensure a perfect final fit in the summer of 2008. And maybe we can find something by hand. I don't know. Just look through the yes. We have hand tightened here. So be careful with that. Just go back and read it carefully. Now we find this one from the beginning. Over 45,000 bolt holes were matched with their bolts, and each bolt was hand tightened. Here it says that the Falkirk wheel is the only boat lift in the world which has steel sections bolted together by hand. It is not said something about the only ones. So we cannot find anything about that. So here this is not given. So how about question 18? Question 18, here we find weight or weight. The weight of the gondolas varies according to the size of boat being carried. The wheel consists of two sets of opposing axe-shaped arms attached about 25 meters apart of a fixed central spin. Two diametrically opposed water-filled gondolas, each with a capacity of 360,000 liters, are fitted between the ends of the arms. These gondolas always weigh the same. So this is we look for. These gondolas always weigh the same. Here it says that weight of gondolas varies according to the size. So the answer for this question is false, of course. So here, this is the end of this video. I hope you find it useful. If that's the case, please share this video with your friend and stay tuned for the next videos. Thanks for watching.